Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no greater power anywhere beneath the sun. Yet
We
what
push
force
these cases around when we're working very often. This is what carries the gear for many of the shows that go on at Van Andel and DeVos Place and the other areas where we have concerts and live shows. Today we're doing the Push for 600. As many people know, the unemployment benefits with the extra 600 have gone away at the end of last month, and it's becoming desperation time for many people in our industries and many others.
My thing is wardrobe.
Okay.
I came in a long time, maybe 20 years ago, because I could sew. And Beauty and the Beast was in town. So I showed up, I was the stitcher, and I was hooked at that point. So wardrobe is my angle. A few years later, I realized I could do concerts as well.
In the hair department, so I do a lot of wigs, cutting, stuff like that, doing quick changes for Broadways, for the cast. Sometimes I help out in wardrobe. I don't stitch like Laura does.
Stitch. How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for about 17 years, and I enjoy it immensely. It's a little bit different than working with my cosmetology license in a salon, something like that. Sometimes I do both. Just depends upon how busy we are.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
How's it going, everybody? Solidarity. I wasn't really prepared to speak or expecting that, so I'm not really prepared, but I just wanted to say a few words. I've worked with the Stagehand Union since 1995. Off and on, I do a lot of touring as well as a sound engineer. Our whole industry has been shut down by this, and all of us have been getting by, keeping afloat, as everybody says, with this extra $600. The actual state unemployment benefits are kind of laughable. $362 a week, I believe it is the max, if you qualify for the max, which isn't a whole lot for people to live on. The cost of everything else has gone up around us, yet they expect us to live on nothing. The new proposals, they talk about $200 a week with the federal money, which is laughable. You know, $600 a week is $15 an hour on a 40-hour week, which is what minimum wage should be, but isn't. So we're going to be out here pushing and fighting until we get this $600 or until we can go back to work. A lot of people are saying, up in D.C., they're saying that $600 a week is keeping us from working. We are working people. Most of us do 16-hour days. When we're pushing boxes, if we're in an arena or be at the theater, or if I'm on tour, we'll go from the tour bus to working to 20-hour days to bouncing down the road. We're not afraid to work. We want to work. We want to provide for our families. But this $600 a week gets us by. It's not getting us ahead. It's not keeping us from working, but it's keeping us by and keeping a mortgage payment paid or the car insurance paid and putting food on the table. Most of us got kids, wives, husbands, whatever it may be, that we have to take care of. And this $600 is helping us to do that. It's barely helping us. So they make it sound like it's some extravagant amount that people should be, you know, not going to jobs over and stuff. We want to work. $600 a week isn't even a third of my normal weekly wage, and it's not keeping me from going back to work once we can safely go back to work. We want to work, but we want to do it safely. We want to go entertain people. We're used to bringing smiles to people's faces. We see the smiles on people's faces. We help people forget about their problems for an evening or something at a show or at a theater gig or at a corporate event. People get out and they escape that stuff and we help to provide that. Right now, there's none of that going on, and we need the $600. So, solidarity to everybody, Union 26, Local 26, and everybody else involved. Thank you very much.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
The start of the pandemic, I was in South Bend, Indiana, on tour with the Lion King in their wardrobe department. I had done that show multiple times and had been invited down there to do a 3-week run. So the first week went really great. We had, canceled all backstage tours with, concerns of the virus. By the second week, Broadway had suspended the Broadway Cares fundraising that they do after the shows, which was a huge red flag to the crew members because, they only do that twice a year. And if they're suddenly, pulling a huge fundraiser that is important for them, what's the chances of them canceling the show? So that's when the whispers began backstage. And they had said by the end of the week that production would make a decision. And it turned out the very next day when we showed up for work, we were turned away at the stage door and told that the show was postponed until further notice. So I immediately called Josh, my business agent, to see if there were any gigs back home here that I could get on because that was a significant paycheck I had just lost that I had been counting on. And within 2 hours, he called me back to say that the phone had been ringing off the hook and everything was canceled. So he couldn't really offer any additional work. I had a waitressing job I kept on the side for extra money or for when times got slow, and I called them up and picked a shift up for Friday night. Got back here, worked that shift. Within 2 days, the stay-at-home order had gone into effect and that restaurant was also shut down. Unfortunately, they had declared bankruptcy, so they had to permanently let go of all the employees there. And so I lost both of my jobs just like that. And that's pretty much why I decided we had to start taking action when I knew that there was an expiration set for these benefits they had put in place, which were the only reason that my rent was getting paid and all my bills were covered. My student loans did not qualify for relief under the CARES Act. So unfortunately, I have had to continue making those payments. Now, I had fallen behind in my student loans in the past, and it took years for me to get back on track on making those payments and also to restore my credit because that was a huge dent there. And I have worked hard to get to where I'm at, where I was finally feeling like I was getting ahead in life. So keeping the $600 means, me not having to stress about a huge mountain of financial obligations that I am still responsible for meeting, regardless of whether I'm working or not. So I want to make sure that I'm not just speaking for myself, but all workers. And that's what we started fighting for back in July when we first sat down and had a meeting about what we could do and what steps we could take. And our movement started off small and it has grown, nationally. We have extendpua.org working with us, Michigan United. I just came back from a press conference hosted by Michigan United with Senator Stabenow. And one of the things Senator Stabenow mentioned was the fact that, in Congress, we have all these people of great means who are making decisions that benefit people of great means. They're not concerned about, working class people, and they don't understand, $600 for someone like me, that was how much I could make in a single day. When I was rigging Lollapalooza, I was getting a $700 day rate. So $600 a week is not significant to everybody. I, can't discount the people that it is, but for people like me, like I said, with a mountain of financial obligations, we need that amount of money to continue to sustain everything we've worked for. I'm thinking about the future and what's going to happen if it doesn't, end up being cemented as something I can count on into next year, because we know our industry is not going to be returning until next year. There's no definitive date. They continue to push that date further and further into the future. We're saying spring 2021. Now there's talk of some tours aiming for 2022. So, it's really discouraging to have so many people who are in a position of power, not doing anything significant for us at this point. So we're continuing to hold out hope, and we're going to continue fighting and speaking out and calling on our senators and anyone who's in a position to help us and further our cause.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no greater power anywhere beneath the sun.
Get in touch. Talk to your neighbors. This is real. This is for your neighbors. You probably know a stagehand. You've at least seen a stagehand. But it's bigger than us. It's the other industries as well. So get out there, have those conversations, and understand that 30 million people unemployed. Just going to get a job isn't really an option for the majority of them. There's far more unemployed than there are jobs available.
Now we stand outcast and starving amidst the wonders we have made, but the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. They have taken untold millions that they never toiled to earn, but without our brain and muscle, not a single wheel can turn. We can break their hardy power, gain our freedom when we learn that the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.